Just under a year ago, the Kid Laroi released his debut album, The First Time.
Hold my hand until you turn to ashes. Hold on, baby, check the score. What the hell you talking for? How many weeks on Billboard? Top 10 like 44. Forcing myself to move on. I don't feel like myself since you've been gone.
This album really portrays the Kid Laroi's unique style. So with all this hype and this fame surrounding this, one 20-year-old guy, I wanted to see if I could recreate the true aspects and elements that he adds into his songs that truly portray his unique style. I've been looking for a lot of videos on how to make songs like the Kid Laroi, and I've truly not found many. If you don't know who the Kid Laroi is, he is a singer and rapper from Australia that started from nothing and worked his way up to being among the elite. It truly just goes to show you how, if you really put your effort into something, that you can really make it. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. Today, we're going to be making a track like Nights Like This off the album, which is personally my favorite track on the album. So to start off first, we're going to go ahead and open up Omnisphere. It's going to take 1,000 centuries to load. Okay, there we go. Cool. And we'll just start searching for some good pads to use. That's pretty close. I think maybe if I take off the reverb from it, it'll probably fit what I'm looking for a little bit more. Because the granulizer will also introduce kind of more of a sustaining reverb effect as well. Now we'll go ahead and throw this into channel 1, and we are going to grab Somatic's latest plugin, Dark Sky. And this is essentially a granulizing plugin, and oh my gosh, look at how, this literally matches my room. It's literally the exact same colors. Coincidence? I think not. So let's take a look and see what we got here. We'll just do no mix. Oh, it's so vibey. There's so much going on. This sounds like the PS2 intro, where it goes. Oh, it totally sounds like the PS2 intro. Oh, dude. So without it, just dry and boring, and then with it, oh. Okay, I think I'm gonna layer this with something else. Load up another Omnisphere patch. Okay. Probably bring that. Yo, this might be cooking. Bring that down just a little bit more, and we'll throw it in. Wait. It adds a whole nother layer. Oh my gosh. Bro, it adds a whole nother layer. It's like and it's all like a half it's all like a half, like, holy crap, I can't think, octave. It's like a half octave. Oh, dude. Sound design is gonna go absolutely insane with this. Maybe I'll throw this an octave up. Oh, bro. Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good. Maybe one more layer, a little bit more, something a little beefier. Nope. Maybe. Okay, kind of like this one, but without the reverb. Oh, it's so good. I'm gonna try something here actually. I'm going to place this here. That's, yeah. I'm gonna render this and try chopping it up. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and add our reverb now. And this one will be more of an actual reverb. So we went from this to this. Cool. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and create a new pattern. Reese Bass. Add maybe a little sausage fattener. This might be the goofiest plugin you will ever see. I think that's pretty good. I think we can introduce some drums now. And I think what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to sidechain everything to this kick so that this kick will even hit even harder. So what I usually do is I'll create a sidechain and I will sidechain the kick to it, or I'll put the kick into the sidechain, and then everything else will be sidechain to that. There we go. And then everything else will be routed into it so that the kick is going to duck virtually everything else. So then we'll throw a limiter on here, and then we'll just change this into sidechain mode, and we are going to sidechain the kick, of course. So bring threshold down, the ratio up, start at 2. We'll start at 2. Hear it ducking the rest of the sounds that I have routed through there. So it's ducking the Reese and the granular synth every time that it hits. Oh man, that's a little heavy. I might put the threshold back up just a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of fire. Let's go ahead and throw this up in here. I'm gonna just throw it into channel 10 for now. Cool. Now we'll add a little bit of reverb to this. Maybe like a little slap delay. It also does like a reverse kind of hat thing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to record this hat without that and reverse it. What's up, brother? What's up? Oh, look who it is. Dookie Pookie. Duke, you gotta say hi to the camera. If I just pick you up and throw you, huh? Little punk. Eating all my tissues. from all the tears that I cried.
I can't believe he literally...
I don't even... I've only used one tissue.
I literally looked down here and there was a tissue on the...
It was at the bottom of my trash can,
I didn't even see him pick it up.
I have no idea, bro. Alright, gotta finish this video. Honestly, I think that is pretty much it for the beat. I think it's pretty much done. It just needs to be mastered, of course, and since my Waves plugins don't want to integrate with FL Studio right now, I'm gonna have to bounce it out to Pro Tools to master. And so with that, I'm going to head and bounce it out of FL Studio as a WAV file, and from there then we can head on to mastering it in Pro Tools. Okay, so we are now in Pro Tools, and just look at how ugly this interface looks. I mean, I feel like for such an advanced DAW, you could make the Windows version of it look somewhat better. I mean, I've used this on Mac systems, and it looks fantastic. But this ugly Windows outline for everything, I mean, come on, it's 2024. This is like some Windows 7 type crap. Anyway, here we are with the project uploaded, and like the complete moron that I am, I completely forgot to start recording while I was uploading my plugins, and I basically went through the whole thing and mastered the entire thing and forgot to record it. So what I'm just going to do right now is walk you guys through exactly what I have on my mastering chain, and instead of walking through me mastering it all live, I'll kind of just walk through each and every single one of the plugins, why I have them on there, and what exactly that they're doing. So here we have the project loaded in here. So we'll kind of take a listen to kind of a couple different parts of the track and hear what it sounds like without mastering. Skip ahead a little bit. Okay, not bad. So pretty good start. I'd say the mix is decent. I could have definitely spent a little bit more time, and maybe if my Waves plugins were working in FL Studio, this would all be easier, but it's all good. So first plugin I have is just a stock EQ, and honestly, Pro Tools stock EQ is fantastic. So I just kind of boosted some of the low mids, more of the mids in the section. I ducked a little bit around, I think this is like 2.5K, 2.2K-ish. This frequency range right here from like the 2 to 3K range is usually pretty harsh to me. And usually I'll actually boost a little bit of the highs, but because this song is a little bit more vintage sounding, I kind of wanted to duck those highs a little bit just to make it a little bit more warmth. A little bit warmer, I guess I should say. So yeah, and then I always duck out anything below 35 hertz just because it's kind of muddying up the mix, and most devices aren't going to be able to output that unless you're listening on like very high quality speakers. But your general headphones and your car speakers are not going to be outputting anything below 35 hertz. Cool. Our next plugin here is our SSL Comp. And now this is a fantastic plugin to use on mix bus or mastering. I love doing it just to kind of glue everything a little bit together. So usually I'll use the mastering preset that it comes with, and it sounds fantastic already, but I added a little bit of tweaks. I think I lowered some of the makeup gain here by a little bit, and I raised the threshold up just a little bit. I always keep the ratio on 4, just kind of like a middle ground. It almost kind of makes the kick and snare pop a little bit more, which I really like, especially for the emphasis on the kick and snare in this track. Then next we have our Abbey Road TG Mastering 2. This plugin is an absolute beast. It's kind of like an all-in-one plugin, really. What I mostly did here was just slight tweaks on things. I don't even think, yeah, I didn't do anything to the highs. I dropped the mids by 0.1. I dropped the low mids a pretty decent amount just because they were starting to get a little harsh. Oops. There we go. And then the lows, I boosted just a smidge. Again, I'm using a Master Bus Glue and Punch preset that comes stock with it. And obviously I use that as a reference point, and then I'll tweak everything to kind of fit the overall vibe of the track. But these presets are fantastic already and kind of give you a ballpark of where you want to be. So I made those adjustments there on the EQ section, and then here I just set it to modern. I think this is on original, and then the ratio is 37. Just what sounded good. Again, if you're just looking at numbers and you're not actually listening to the mix, it's really not going to sound good. You always have to be listening to your ears. I would rather somebody listen with their ears and not know like what the hell these numbers mean than someone be very strategic about, oh, this is like the written principle of you got to have this at minus 6 dB or whatever. While there's some principles that apply, I think it's just so much better to have the ear for it. So someone that doesn't know anything about what these numbers mean but just feels it out could technically make a better mix. Anyway, next I like to add the Vitamin plugin, and this plugin is an absolute monster for mastering vocals. I mean, really anything. It's so versatile and I use it a lot. Again, using a preset just as a ballpark starting point, this is the best sounding preset out of these 4. A lot of these were pretty aggressive, so I didn't use those, but this one was really good starting point. And I think all I did was just adjust these ranges to be higher or lower. Again, I wanted to drop the highs and the mid highs a little bit just to kind of emphasize the warmth of this track. And then I think I also boosted some of the lows here as well. Next, we have our Kramer Tape machine, and this thing is just so good to add a little bit of, that tube saturation almost. That tape, well, I guess it's more of a tape saturation, but that like subtle warmth that most tracks can kind of miss, and it kind of creates that little bit of that analog feel into your track. So what I did was pretty much just use, again, mastering preset, soft clean compression. It sounded the best out of these. A lot of these kind of started distorting it a little bit too much because there's already a lot of sub frequencies in this track already. So I pretty much just chose the softest one and kind of went from there. The next plugin we have on our list here is the L1 limiter, just kind of like a easy little plugin to use. So again, mastering preset, and then I adjusted these thresholds and out ceilings, which honestly, now that I think about it, this plugin is so simple, I don't even know why I went through preset. Like, I'm so used to starting with a ballpark point that I got a little ahead of myself and realized that there's literally only pretty much 3 parameters I can move. So yep, just adjusted the threshold and out ceiling to work with making sure that I'm not clipping, and using a loudness meter as well in junction with that, so I could tell where my levels were at. Next, we have another little EQ, and I thought the highs sounded a little bit harsh, and some of the hi-hats were a little bit harsh as well. So I kind of just EQ'd out where I could hear them coming through, and just ducked it a little bit from the highs here, just to kind of bring those high frequencies down so it's not like screaming in your ear. And then the last plugin that I always throw in my mastering chain is a stereo control plugin, and this one is actually a free plugin that you can get from Alex Hilton called A1 Stereo Control. This plugin is absolutely fantastic. It seems like a lot, but it's really easy to use, and I really only use a couple different things. So the main thing I start with is I use this safe bass frequency, and basically what this is you can choose a frequency and it'll make sure that anything below this frequency is still mono. Like, it just makes sure that it's still mono. So if I had this at like off, that means everything is being spread out, including your low frequencies. So I kind of felt out a point that would be good, and I kind of decided on 250, just so that also some of those low mids would be more in mono as well. So we'll keep that on. And then you can go from just your standard picture, which is 100%, to 200%, which is basically double the stereo. Now that would sound horrible, so you just want to add a little bit of a touch. I found that adding 25% stereo was fantastic. Pardon. Also, when you're testing this plugin, it's really helpful to mute the mids and the sides so you can hear what it's really doing to both. Obviously, if you mute the mids, it's just going to show you the sides. So if I was to play this, and then if I mute the side, that's everything that's in mono. It's a subtle difference. It really is. It's a subtle difference, but it just really brings that track width to life. and kind of fully brings the track together. So yeah, that's pretty much my complete mastering chain for this song. Let's go ahead and take a demo to what it sounds like without mastering and then with all of it together. So here is without. And here is with all of the plugins on, full mastering chain, ready to export, ready to upload to Spotify or wherever. So now I will let the whole track play out and you guys can hear what that sounds like. Alright, that's pretty much the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. My plan is to make some more tutorials on how to make specific types of beats related to specific songs on the First Time album. I think upcoming next, I'm probably going to do one that sounds like Sorry. I really love the sampled vibe too, so I'm just looking for some samples right now, and then I'll get started on that project as well. Let me know if you guys want me to put vocals on this song, my own vocals, which is kind of embarrassing to record, but you know, I could throw some vocals on this and make a tutorial on how to do vocals like the Kid Laroi. So that would be something I could do as well. So if you guys are wanting that, just let me know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and have a great rest of your day.